Good morning, everybody. This is Matt Hoyt, and today I'm going to show you how to create a departmental folder system and copy it so that you can organize things a little bit better amongst departments. So you can see here I started by creating a new folder, and I gave it the name of Science Master Folder. You can see it down here. And we're going to double click on that and open it on up. And this is where we're going to start creating our folder system. So you can see here you would put your course title. So I've started by creating Bio 1 and then over to Bio 2, etc., etc. In science, we've got quite a few courses like most departments have. So this is an easy way for us to organize it. And you can see here I've already created two folder systems. One that says A, Unit 1, Basic Skills, Chapter 2. The next one would be B, Unit 2, Scientific Method, Chapter 5 maybe. Doesn't really matter what the chapter numbers are because the A, B, C, the alphabetical order will keep it in line and in sequential order. So you can see underneath that A Unit 1 Basic Skills folder, I put 4 subfolders: assessments, assignments, labs, resources, and then I put a document called Table of Contents, which I'll show you in just a second. Now, these names would vary from department to department, but it gives you an idea of how to help organize things. The Table of Contents is exactly what it says. However, this is going to be what's called a hyperdocument in which I've created a table by going up to Table and hitting Create. And I made it 2 columns, and I just ran down and gave it as many boxes as I felt was necessary, but I don't really know how many entries are going to be in each one, so I can always add on more later on. On the left-hand side here, we're going to put a picture of the image itself of the document, and on the right-hand side here, we're going to put a hyperlink for that document. So if you forget the title name, or the description or something along those lines, you can just simply look at the picture and you can click on it and that will bring you directly to the document, or you can click on the hyperlink and that will bring you to the document. So the problem with Google is that Google doesn't copy folders all that nicely. You can see if we click on the doc, we can make a copy pretty easily. However, if we do the same thing on the folders, you don't have that option. Google does not like to copy folders at all, and this is where we needed some help. So what I've done is I've created a Google Sheet by going down to Google Sheets, and I've entitled it Copy Folder. You can see it right here. And we're going to use an add-on. Oops. There we go. We're going to use an add-on called Copy Folder, oddly enough. So you're going to click on here on Add-ons, and you're going to go down to Get Add-ons. And we're going to type in Copy Folder as soon as this comes up. There we go. Copy Folder. You're going to hit return. You see it comes up and it will have this blue button next to it. It'll say free and you click on it. And it runs through an authorization process, which is just giving it permission to view the folders themselves. And you can see I've already loaded it up. That's why it says manage on it. And once it's all loaded and authorized, you can go back to your copy folder sheet, click add on, and you'll see it will show up as a menu item. And we're going to head on over once it's opened to select a folder. And that's going to bring up this little screen, and it says select a file. And this is where we're going to select the folder that we want copied. What I typically do to make sure that I have the proper folder is I go to my drive, double click on it, and then I'm going to go to the Science Master Folder or whatever you named that master folder as and double click on that. And you can see Bio 1 shows up. We're going to get into the course itself. And this is where we have our units. And you can see I've already copied one, but I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to click on that A1 basic unit. Just click once, not twice, because that will open it. And we're going to hit select. Next, we're going to hit copy, and we're going to let this run. And this sometimes takes a few minutes depending on the speed of the network or how many subfolders you've put in there or whether or not you've put handouts in it already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video until it copies, and then I'll come right back and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so we're back. This went pretty quickly, and you can see that it's taken the original folder, that A Unit 1 Basic Skills, and made an exact copy of it. And it copies the folder in the original location, so it's underneath that bio folder. So you can see we've gone from 2 Unit 1s to 3, and you can add 3 or 4. I'm going to add a few more, and then we're going to copy it all, and I'll show you what to do next in just a second. So I'll pause again, and I'll be right back. Okay, gang, so we're back, and I ran that twice more, so I now have 5A Unit 1 Basic Skills, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to rename these. So I'm going to go in and hit rename. I'm going to type E in there. We're going to put in Unit 2, and methods. Oops. There we go. And our unit 2 is going to be the scientific method. That correlates to chapter 5. We're going to hit OK. Now you see that will come up underneath A once we have them all named. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to rename this. And I'm going to hit, come on, there we go. Okay. And we're going to go C, unit 3. And we're going to type in chemistry. Space chemistry is chapter 3. Okay. And we're going to rename this one. And this takes a little time to rename it, but you get the idea. So what I'm going to do is pause this here, and I'll be right back after everything is named. Okay, so we're back, and I've renamed those files. You can see I have my 5 units, A, B, C, D, and E. And now we're going to go in and we're going to copy all of that. So what I want to do is I want to drag this copy folder out of here because I don't want to copy that one. So I'm going to move that to my upper folder or wherever in your drive. You just don't want it in this subfolder itself. I'm going to put that underneath our science master folder here. Hit move and off it goes. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're now going to copy this because we can get the exponential growth idea. You know, we started with 2, we end up with 4, 4 ends up 8. So if we're starting with 5, we're going to end up with 10 unit folders within here. We know that it's all under this bio 1. And you can see we just moved our copy folder file. So I'm going to go back to that same copy folder sheet, hit add-on, go down to copy folder. And this time we're going to select a different subfolder so that we can get this done. We're going to hit select file. We're going to go back to my drive. We're going to go to Science Master, and this is where we're going to switch things up a little. Instead of double clicking on that bio 1, we're just going to click once on it. We're going to copy that whole folder. And sometimes this takes a few minutes because this now has gotten 5 units with 4 subfolders underneath and 1 table of contents for each folder. So we're talking quite a few folders and documents. So we're going to pause and we're going to come back in just a minute once that's done to save time. Okay, so our biology 1 folder has been copied and we're just going to now click and drag and manipulate some of those names in there so that we can create or finish up our master folder. So we go back to our science master folder and you can see I now have 2 copies of that bio 1 subfolder. Open it up and we're just going to grab onto these. We're going to hit Control 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to right click. We're going to go down to move to. And now we're going to hit this arrow over here. We're going to go back 1 and we're going to copy it into the folder above. We're going to make a copy so that our original bio 1 folder now has 10 units in it. And if we did it again, it would have 20, etc., etc. So this is an easy way for us to copy the system. We can go back to that newly copied bio 1 folder, and because it's just shell, we can remove that. So now we've got a course with 10 units in it, and you can see we've got duplicates of it, so we'd have to go back in and rename these. But once you have all these units named, you might have 12, you might have 14. You can copy bio 1 and rename it as bio 2. You can copy it again and rename it as bio 3, etc., etc. for classes that have similar units or unit names: physical science, physics, chemistry, etc., etc. The original program that we used to do this, to create our master folder, we did it 1 at a time and it took about 4 hours. This should shave about 3 of those hours off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shell that will just say subject master folder, and it will have 1 class in it with 10 units for everyone to use. And you can use the same system that I just showed you how to do. If you need to add units, just copy and paste the units and rename them. So I hope that helps you out, and feel free to use it where you want. If you have any suggestions, please stop down and I'll be happy to take them into consideration. Thanks.